it's Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity with your grand reveal in Del Mar Highlands. Woo! All right. This took 3 days and change, and it was a true labor of love. These little front yards in this neighborhood were so overplanted, and the roots and the stumps and the broken irrigation pipes everywhere, the whack-a-mole that we played for 2.5 days. But you know what? At the end of it all, we have so much fun, and the more we invest, the more blood, the more sweat, the more tears, the more these installations mean. So we're thankful for all of it. We're grateful for all of it, and we're happy to be here. I love doing front yards. I love the opportunity to show the neighbors and the community some options to the dreaded lawns, and especially when I get an opportunity to do a parking strip. Sorry about that phone call. Anywho, this parking strip is just so simple. Right? We've got the Aloe grenadiensis, which you will also note that we staggered. They're not in a straight line. Remember, no straight lines in nature, so stagger your plants. But these are very friendly plants. It's aloes and crassulas. And then we've thrown in a couple of little Echeveria blue atolls and a couple aloe blue elves for good measure. But none of these plants are dangerous. None of them are poisonous. None of them are going to poke or hurt anybody. They're also very resilient. So if a basketball hits them, or a car door, or, they're just going to be just fine. This is all plumbed on subterranean drip. And we have the rare opportunity to do this because there's no HOA in this community, which is really unusual. But HOAs can be super problematic, particularly with parking strips, because usually it's community water, the community gardeners take care of it, blah, blah, blah. So we don't always get to do a parking strip. But look, how much better is this than grass or other messy plants? We also did a little flagstone pathway just for fun, kind of break it up a little bit. And we went with sort of a sandstone colored flagstone to pick up the sandstone color in the concrete. So this just looks really, really pretty and dialed in. Some of you suggested a darker top dressing. A couple of reasons why I chose a light color. One, there's a big podocarpus tree over there, and then there's this thing here. Not sure, but detritus, right? Leaf drop. And on a darker rock, every single thing is going to show up. But on the lighter rock, it conceals a lot of the detritus. So it's just easier to maintain. We did, oh my gosh, so much. I mean, I'm always amazed at how many boulders and rocks we use in these installations. This was, or is, on quite a significant downslope too. So we needed to do some shoring up. I wanted to do a lot of barrel cactus at the steepest parts of the yard because they don't require any irrigation. And, they take up so much space visually. They look like giant pin cushions in the landscape. You'll also notice, elephant in the room, there's no accents, is there? There's no black 3/4. There's, I didn't do in a third element. Couple of reasons. One, the elevation, it's so steep. And secondly, I just felt like we wanted to keep this front yard more restrained so that people can kind of whet their appetites when they come up on this yard. And then when they go to the back and see, all of the fiberglass and the black and just everything, it just kind of builds, right? It's like telling a story. So these plants, are absolutely plants that you can find. Um, there's nothing really rare or unusual, with the exception maybe of the Pachypodium gayi. This is kind of different, but you can get a Lemerii anywhere. Um, Dazzlerian longissimum, and my kaleidoscope mangave and aloe rubriviolacea, a couple of, somewhat maybe a little bit unusual, but for the most part, the inspiration for this front yard was the giant sago that was already here. And I wanted to play off of that, and I wanted to make sure that the garden looked like it had been here for a long time, and that my plants weren't going to play catch up to this beautiful plant. Also, the creeping fig, the Ficus repens, I really encourage the client to keep it. It's just softens everything up so beautifully. We have the irrigation set off to go for 15 minutes once a week on the succulents. Again, we don't have any irrigation running to the cactus. The guys did rings of subterranean around the plants and the plant groupings rather than run lines of it all the way through the landscape. I also added 3 blue glows, agave blue glows. I don't use a lot of agaves because they are monocarpic plants. They bloom and they die, but I love a good blue glow. And look at the color against all this green. I think it's magnificent. And can you just, imagine this garden in just a couple of years? It's going to be crazy beautiful. Greg has done a masterful job once again of the low voltage lighting. He's got pathway lights on either side of the entry, and then he's got some floods. He's got a flood here that goes and casts a shadow against the Dazzleria and against the house. He's got a flood down there going this direction, so that the garden is just beautifully illuminated at night. Back here, they had this cute little camellia, which is setting bud. This is our client's office back here. So, I don't hate this. I mean, it's a really tough plant. It's here. It's been neglected. So now that it has been fertilized and it's going to be getting ample irrigation, I think it will just explode. It's so pretty. So we just did bromeliads underneath, and we did little micro sprayers so that we could be sure to keep water in the cups, which is what the bromeliads like. And then I've got a few Aeonium herbicum in here too, just for funsies, because that's an Aeonium that doesn't hate the shade. This gets really, really bright light too. So this, I think, is just going to go, again, get better and better and better as time passes. My favorite part in this yard in the front is got to be this side of the drive. The honey onyx boulders are stunning, and the cycads from Al at Botanic Wonders just exceeded my wildest expectations. What a beautiful, beautiful grouping. We did about 1.5 yards of soil in here to mound. Staged the 3 cycads, then I underplanted with a couple more agave blue glows, allowing plenty of room for them to grow, because of course a blue glow will get about 3 feet in diameter. And then of course brought the barrels in from the other side, and we've got this tight little trio of barrels far enough back from the sidewalk that they won't infringe on, people or their pets. But wow, I mean, this is going to require 0 in the way of care or maintenance. And here, this is a challenging spot. This is, again, part of the parking strip. Not a lot of room. We got the light post here, the mailboxes. So we just did an aloe vera and a couple of rocks and called it a day. And it just looks so smart. I just love that. This will be a garden that I'll, probably be 1.5 years before I need to come do anything. And because the plants are so easy going and easy growing, I don't anticipate having to do much. Oh, yes, I almost forgot over here. So here we have, you've often we talk about the big utility boxes. And I always say don't try to hide them, because if you try to hide them, you're just going to make them stand out even more. The eye goes where it wants. And all I did around this utility box was rock. We took out a bunch of bushes. And there's even a sign right on the front of it that says, don't plant anything around this box, please. So we didn't. We just rocked it. And it just looks so clean and finished. And honestly, you don't really even see it. Technically, this is the neighbors to the left of the fence. So we just rocked it in. Nice, clean, neat, no fuss, no muss. Look at the blooms, Hannah, on the rubriviolacea. It's getting ready to go off. So pretty. In this gorgeous stand of mangave and our petalanthus back here. Yep. We got just enough portulacaria, to create a little softness as a ground cover out front here. I also added a undulata. Is that the only one I have? I think so. One right here at the corner, because I just felt like we needed a little something something here. But I was really careful not to overplant in this front yard. So this will turn into a nice low profile little bush and just be really soft and easy breezy right there as you walk into the courtyard. Which is just, again, so beautiful in its simplicity. I added another little hanging plant, and we did more groupings like we did along the back of just crassulas, some blue elf, some echeveria tolls. We've got a little lemon guava tree here that the client's going to hand water. He's been hand watering it, so he'll continue. And then a trio of succulents here. I got these pots at Planter's Paradise. We have a Euphorbia lambii and the Aloe Apache hybrid and the blue atoll. I top dressed them with white creva and a little bit of Oro Verde jade chips. Then over here, again, it's just some jasper purple rubble and some sweet little groupings of crassula, aloes, and echeveria. So this will be, I'm just so excited. I'm excited for you all to see it in about a year and a half when it's really got its legs. And, it feels good. It feels good to dial it in, to show some restraint. And I'm happy to bring you on the journey as I evolve as a designer. And tomorrow, I'm going to be airing a video where I do a walkabout in the backyard that we installed last week with the homeowner, and I answer all of his questions about his new plants. So be sure and tune in for that. Be sure and subscribe, like the video, share it with all your garden-loving friends. I wish you all a happy, beautiful, calm, and healthy holiday season. And we will see you tomorrow. This has been Laura Eubanks reporting for Design for Serenity with your grand reveal in Del Mar Highlands and your succulent tip of the day. Bye, guys.